This week on Big Brother Curse, I'm going to be talking about packing and the airport. I don't mean like packing your bags or whatever. I mean, as a trans person, packing with a prosthetic penis in your pants. I have gotten quite a few questions asking, how do you pack when you go through security at the airport? And I used to travel like every other month back home. When I lived in New York, I would come back to Texas to visit my girlfriend and my family. And so I have quite a bit of experience actually dealing with security and traveling with prosthetics, and back then binding through full body scanners, etc. So in my experience, my biggest recommendation is that you do not pack through body scanners. Somehow you get to go through the metal detector instead of a full body scanner, then you'd be pretty set. But going through a full body scanner with something in your pants is more than likely going to get you patted down. So full body scanners are not a perfect science. Basically, when you walk up, to my understanding, they get to push male or female based on your outward appearance. Body scanner, you go in, you stand in there, you put your arms up, it goes whoop, whoop around you, sending what I assume is little particles or whatnot around and reading what your body makeup is. And then when you walk out the other side, there's this very basic human shape on the screen, and then there will be yellow rectangles where there are anomalies that show up on the body scanner. Now, this is a problem for trans people in general, and then packing specifically is a problem because I've had body scanners go off if my pants are too baggy. Whenever I've worn a packer through security, which I've done a handful of times, every single time it'll show up as an anomaly in my pants, and then they'll ask me to either pull my pants up tighter and walk through, which one time when I did that, then when I went through, nothing came back as abnormal. So then I guess it just has to do with like the proximity of the prosthetic to maybe like your pubic area, and so there was no space between my packer and my body, and so maybe it read it as like it was attached to me as opposed to just something floating in your pants. And so obviously you can get kind of why this would trigger a body scanner looking for something that you'd be like smuggling onto a plane, because it's just something concealed, you know. In my experience, as a trans person, you're going to possibly be pat down by someone. For me, my recommendation to anybody going through security, if you're going to be flying with a prosthetic, put it in your bag. Obviously, if you check your bag, totally safe. You can definitely fly with prosthetics checked in your bag. Now, you more than likely might get a little note inside your bag on top that says, "Hi, hello, we searched your bag." That's because they're gonna put it through a scanner. It's gonna be a nice, weird shape on their x-ray machine or whatever the machine is that it goes through, and then they're gonna find a nice dick in your bag. Not a big deal. People fly with all sorts of weird things all the time. So, I mean, I've flown with many a prosthetic in a checked bag. It will still be there. They see stuff like that all the time, vibrators, sex toys, whatnot, so that's not a big deal. I've also flown with my prosthetics in a carry-on bag. I can tell you on more than one account, I've traveled with more than one prosthetic in my carry-on bag, because I do have a prosthetic that I prefer for play, and then ones that are also an STP or basic packer, etc. So if I know what my trip is going to entail, I might have to bring more than one. Thing is, most of the time, my bag will go through the conveyor belt, and they won't even stop it. Sometimes they'll pull my bag back, and I'll have to like know that they might ask me about what's in my bag. The thing is, when they do ask, I just tell them I have a prosthetic in there. I don't usually have to then disclose, oh, I'm transgender. It's a penis prosthetic. But usually there's a prosthetic in there, suffices. And I've actually never had them then go through my bag or anything. That's usually like, oh, okay, fine. But that's my recommendation. Definitely just have it in your carry-on. For me, I prefer to have it in carry-on even if I am checking a bag, because I like to have my STP handy, and then I'll just go to the nearest bathroom after I'm through security, put my STP back in my pants, and I'm ready to go for the rest of my trip. For me, I just feel like it's safer and quicker to have it in my bag rather than on my person and then have to explain. All of it's very problematic, all of it's very sitting people into two very small boxes that, I mean, the scanner's gonna go off regardless for a lot of things. And the last time I flew to New York, it went off because I had my flannel sleeves rolled, and so both my arms had big yellow boxes on them because of how the folds in my shirt were. It just really picks up on some ridiculous things, and then they're going to ask you if they can pat you down. Usually it's a very quick thing, but sometimes it could lead to a further altercation that could be avoided if you just put your prosthetic in your bag and go along your way. But just keep in mind that traveling as a trans person can be kind of scary, can be dangerous, and so just kind of avoiding too many altercations in my experience has helped avoid some of those situations. And when I travel, and also just in my day-to-day, I keep my prosthetics in a nice little cloth bag. I promote for rodeos, so I have like a dozen of these little like cinch baggies. Keeps things from getting too linty, too dirty, and I also don't like just a dick floating around in my bag, so that also kind of conceals things. If your bag does get opened up and searched through, just have it inside of a little bag or box, or even wrapped up in your boxers or something. But I definitely recommend that as well. People travel with prosthetics. A lot of people travel with all sorts of things that tip off TSA, needles, prescription drugs, just plenty of things. So don't worry about them having to look through your bag. That's their job. Just know that you might have to answer questions, and it just might be easier to be just forthcoming. Oh, hey, it's prosthetic. A simple, I'm trans, it's a prosthetic, I needed to travel, and you'll be on your way. Usually people are pretty understanding, sure that they've been educated briefly on some of these matters. It just might depend where you're traveling to and from. Just keep that in mind, and if you are traveling as a trans person, I hope that you don't have any bad encounters. Know what you might be facing. I'm gonna try to find some articles that I can link below this video, how to handle these situations. I'm gonna see if I can find some resources for y'all, just if you wanna have like a more well-rounded opinion about this. But if you are traveling anytime soon, I hope you have a good trip, hope things go smoothly. And if you have any other topics you want me to address in my next Big Brother Chris video, let me know. I'm happy to help y'all out, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your week. I love y'all very much, and see you later. And the shirt I'm wearing this week is our Black Transcend tee from Flaunt Streetwear. We are currently partnered with Spencer. Spencer is a good friend of mine. They're a non-binary trans person, and they are fundraising for their top surgery. So 15% of all sales at Flaunt are gonna help Spencer afford their top surgery, which is coming up later this spring, early summer. So yeah, be sure to check out Flaunt. We got some really awesome stuff. We're gonna be listing some new designs later this week.